Word on the street is that private employers only hired 77,000 jobs in February, in comparison to 186,000 jobs that were hired in January. Let's talk about what this means for the employee. Not so much the employer, but the employee. Let's get to it. All right, gang. So a lot of the times when I do word on the street, I am focusing and targeting my message to HR pros, business owners, executive teams, etc. But with this particular word on the street, I want to focus on the employee, okay? Workplace Change is working with 46 unique companies right now, currently, which is a record high for us. So I feel very privileged and very honored to be working with so many different companies. But what we're hearing in our works and efforts with these different companies is that there is anxiety brewing at the executive levels, at the board levels about, the future of the economy, the future of diversity, equity, and inclusion, if they're going to be exposed, if they're going to lose contracts with the federal government, with state government, etc. There is a lot of anxiety that's out there. So I wanted to share with you what I think the employee should take into consideration as you think about your upward mobility, as you think about your career advancements. There are some things you can do in-house right now to make sure that you are considered a valuable asset and to make sure that you're continuing to enrich your resume and enrich your skill set so that when the market is hot again, like it was in 2022 and 2023 during the Great Resignation, and you can take a job anywhere in the world overnight, move from place to place. We're not in those circumstances anymore, but in the future, you probably will be, okay? So here's what you should think about doing. First and foremost, you should think about professional development in-house. There are plenty of new things to learn, plenty of new avenues to pursue right at home. It doesn't have to be a big conference. It doesn't have to be, a big educational certification or something of that nature. You could just be learning, cross-learning from team to team at your current workplace, all right? Which brings me to my next one. Cross-training specifically. Thinking about a person who has a scope of work that is a similar classification or compensation to your own, and if you can learn how their job operates, how it runs, how to contribute to their team, etc. That is a major asset to you because you can take those learnings and place them onto your resume. All right, so that's number two. Number one, professional development, make gains, figure out ways to bolster your resume on your own. Option number two, more specifically, cross-train with a colleague or with a team where you can do lateral exploratory contributions to that team. And then option number three that I wanted to bring to your attention is to make sure you are identified as invaluable. Not that you feel that you're invaluable, that it is without a doubt that you are a meaningful addition and contributor to the team. Because what happens when rifts occur, right? When there's a reduction in hiring, rifts are oftentimes happening in other sectors, okay? So, and a rift is a reduction in force, layoffs. When layoffs are being considered, there are things that human resources practitioners or executives, executive teams, boards take into consideration, okay? Who's the high performer? Who do we want to make sure we don't cut from a team? Who can take on more in a leadership capacity? Who can absorb additional teams as we're thinking about, thinning the management layer? And then who are our lowest contributors? Who have the lowest performance evaluation scores? Who are the folks at the organization who consistently kicking up dust, having conflicts across the organization? Those are the folks you can target legitimately, legally target because they're on a letter of reprimand, a final last chance agreement. They're the lowest performers on the evaluation. They are under investigation. Not under investigation. Pause. You don't remove someone from service because they're under investigation. But if you've had 4 or 5 investigations and they've been substantiated or claims almost went to investigation, you become a liability as you're thinking about who stays and who goes. So this workplace change, word on the street is really focused on how to remain valuable, how to punch up your skill set, how to learn other areas of the business inside your current ecosystem while the market is a little bit softer with respect to opportunities to move from sector to sector, company to company, industry to industry. All right. So word on the street is that folks aren't hiring as expected, right? Over a 50% reduction in the number of hires that were happening on the private sector. And by the way, this isn't just happening in the private sector. We're hearing about the layoffs that are happening in the government, in the federal level. We're hearing about impending layoffs that are happening in the county and the city levels. So this is something that I want you to really keep at the forefront of your mind is to how to remain relevant and invaluable to your employer. And those are just a few ideas. If you got other ideas, jump in the chat, or you can direct message me if I've missed the mark or you got something to share. I want to hear from you. Thanks for joining us for this Word on the Street.